Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the 9 p.m. live English news edition. The top stories. Opening of the 38th Extraordinary Summit of IGAD member countries in Djibouti. The President of the Assembly receives the mediator from the Republic of Burundi. For the international news, the pandemic affects 2.46 million people on the continent. Hello, welcome to our newsroom for having the news in details. The 38th Extraordinary Summit of Heads of State and Government opened today at the Djibouti Palace Kempinski. The Republic of Djibouti is once again through the crucial IGAD summit it hosted on Sunday, giving the full measure of its capacity to fit in with the profile of a privileged platform for a dispute settlement emerging in this part of the world. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Margelle, is of course the artisan and the main animator of this Djibouti diplomacy of good offices. The IGAD summit also served as a stand to appreciate his deep commitment to the resolution of conflicts and disputes through dialogue. In fact, in his address to the IGAD meeting, the head of state systemically pleaded for the search for a negotiated settlement to resolve all the dispute on the agenda of the meeting. Also on the dispute between Somalia and Kenya, one of the thorniest issues of this meeting. He called on our neighborhoods and borders in Kenya and Somalia to reach a mutual understanding and overcome their differences by respecting their interests of each. Ethiopia, in the context of the successful restoration of the constitutional order in the Tigray region, was also on the agenda of IGAD summit. And in the speech of the Executive Secretary of the Governmental Authorities for Development, Workney referred to the development of a necessary plan to contain the pandemic. Let's listen to him.
In the course of this year, our region also experienced the worst desert locust invasion in 25 years. We were also affected by widespread flooding across many of the member states as our region continues to beat the burden of climate change. The resolute leadership from your excellencies, our leaders, has made the IGAD stand out in the community of nations. The bold steps that you took won the confidence of the international community and our people to mobilize extraordinary level of support from the European Union and other international partners, many of whom are here with us today. To all our partners, I want to thank you for your response in front of our readers. In July this year, Your Excellencies, you met for the second time. This was another demonstration of your leadership as you assembled to renew the progress of peace process in the Republic of South Sudan. We now met for a third time, Your Excellencies, once again in extraordinary circumstances.
In the speech of the President of the Republic, Excellency Ismail Margele, the summit opened where he welcomed his brothers, heads of state and government who have participated in this 80th extraordinary summit. Let's listen to him.
First of all, I would like to extend a warm welcome to my brothers, the heads of states and governments, who wished to honor with their presence this important event, despite what I know is a very busy schedule. Your presence at this summit is loaded with significances. It bears witness to your commitment and tireless efforts for the development and stability of our region. I would like to also take this opportunity to congratulate the incumbent President of IGAD and Prime Minister of the Republic of Sudan, His Excellency Abdullah Hamdok, for holding this meeting and the summit level, and to salute once again his commitment and his tireless efforts. We are also very happy to welcome among us the President of the Commission of the African Union, His Excellency Musa Faki, as well as all the partners whose constant interest is to see the development and prosperity of our region. Finally, I cannot end my introductory remarks without congratulating the IGAD Secretariat under the leadership of our brother Executive Secretary, Dr. Warkana Gebeyew, and all those who have worked tirelessly to make this summit a success. I hope, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, that you will find the arrangements made available to your conducive to fruitful deliberations and to your personal comforts. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, today, through this summit, we want to reiterate our shared commitment and vision, namely the unity and cohesion that have characterized IGAD since its creation, to give it to our political orientations and impulses, to establish an in-depth evaluation of our strengths and weaknesses, and consider the challenges and opportunities facing this region. With these brief words, I welcome you once again to the Republic of Djibouti, confident that our deliberations will lead us further towards the goal of a better life for all inhabitants of the IGAD region. Thank you.
In his speech, the Commission President, Mr. Musa Faki, stressed the importance for this summit to contribute to and deepen the values of solidarity and peace, and he took advantage of the occasion to pay a vibrant tribute to the head of state of Djibouti, praised for his wisdom, foresight, and leadership, guarantees of lasting political stability. Let's listen to this video.
Today, the Horn of Africa finds itself in a very particular situation. And the IGAD, its regional organization, is experiencing more than one tough challenge. I therefore appreciate your decision to hold this important extraordinary summit and for inviting me to be with you today. This is a good time and the good place to gather the IGAD family to deal with regional challenges. Not only because Djibouti is the headquarters of IGAD, it is also a peaceful country led by a leader, His Excellency President Omar Gele, who embodies wisdom and is a good neighbor to all. Excellencies, allow me to give a broad outline of some priority areas from the regional landscape.
In a speech by the Sudanese Prime Minister, the current chairman of the IGAD, Mr. Abdullah Hamdok, at the beginning of his speech, welcomed all delegation to this valuable event.
Being in Djibouti home to the IGAD headquarters for the first time in 20 years, is a representative of our political will that we have mobilized to reform and revitalize our regional organization. At our last extraordinary summit, I called upon this Assembly of Heads of State and Government to consider holding regular meetings to assess the progress towards our shared vision of the IGAD region and offer counsel on those issues whose resolution require the highest level of intervention. Today, I want to add that it is my wish that in keeping with this status as the headquarters of our organization, Djibouti should have the honor of hosting more of these meetings of the Assembly of IGAD of Head of State and Government.
On the sidelines of the 38th Extraordinary IGAD Summit, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, received in turn the Vice President of Southern Sudan, Mrs. Rebecca. The President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Guelleh, welcomed Mrs. Rebecca. Discussion focused on ways and means to further strengthen cooperation between the two countries. President Guelleh then met with the President of the Federal Republic of Somalia, Mr. Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo. The audience between the Djiboutian President and his Somali counterpart focused on the importance of this extraordinary summit and the ins and outs of the 38th IGAD Summit. Still on the sidelines of IGAD Extraordinary Summit, Djibouti's #1 Ismail Omar Guelleh met with the President of Kenya, Mr. Uhuru Kenyatta, to discuss the issues of the day. The head of state, Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, had a quadripartite meeting with the Somali President, the Kenyan President, and the Ethiopian Prime Minister. This quadripartite meeting enabled the different leaders present at the same table to discuss the dispute between Kenya and Somalia. The strengthening of bilateral relations between the two different IGAD member countries was discussed during the meeting. The President of the National Assembly, Mr. Mohamed Ali Ahmed, today received a large delegation from Burundi in the Hall of Honor of the National Assembly. In addition to the Speaker of the Assembly, Mr. Mohamed Ali Ahmed, the mediator of the Republic of Djibouti, Mr. Qasim Osman Isaac, and the Burundian delegation led by the mediator of the Republic of Burundi, Mr. Ndiwamana Edward, participated in the meeting. This official working visit is in line with the referendum cooperation agreement between the two countries and strengthening the friendly relations between the two countries. Both circumstances discussed the fruitful cooperation between the two countries, as well as ways to create a platform that could potentially support fruitful cooperation. The President of the Assembly referred to the great progress made by our country in the last two legislative councils, which had been embodied in the creation of the Association of Djiboutian Women, Parliamentarians, and the opening of the parliamentary seats to women. At the end of the discussion, the President and his guests from Burundi exchanged views on the future agenda related to institutional relations before their departure toward tangible results and the hope of fruitful cooperation. The mediator of the Republic, Mr. Qasim Osman Isaac, received this morning in his office the high-level delegation from Burundi, led by their mediator of the Republic of Burundi, within the framework of strengthening cooperation between the two friendly and brotherly countries. The two officials discussed a fruitful cooperation between the two countries and the promotion of economic development between the two countries. The mediator of the Republic of Burundi conveyed to the mediator of the Republic of Djibouti greetings of the newly elected President of Burundi, and that this visit is part of the strengthening of cooperation between the two countries. The mediator of the Republic, Mr. Isaac Osman, affirmed this desire for a fruitful cooperation in addition to strengthening cooperation cooperation between Djibouti and Burundi. In his speech, the mediator of the Republic of Djibouti, Mr. Qasim, thanked the delegation for having taken a part in this exhortation within the framework of strengthening cooperation between the two countries. He welcomed the delegation to Djibouti on the ground of meeting and exchange. The Defense Minister, now in charge of relations with Parliament, Mr. Hassan Omar, in charge of relations at the head of a national delegation made up of several civilian and military personalities, including the Chief of Defense Staff, General Tahir Mohammed Ali, took part in the 28th Ordinary Session of the Council of Defense and Security Minister of East African Standby Forces, which was held last Friday, December 18, in Kigali, Rwanda. Noted that the Republic of Djibouti took part at this meeting, the rotating presidency of this regional institution comprising 10 East African countries. This important meeting was officially opened by the Minister of Defense of the Republic of Rwanda. In his opening statement, the Rwandan leader stressed that the East African region was making progress in building bridges and democracy in its quest for lasting peace, security, and stability. For his part, the Minister of Defense, Mr. Hassan Omar, in his speech accepting the chairmanship of the Council of Defense and Security, Minister of Member of Countries highlighted the willingness of the Republic of Djibouti to take part in initiative for consolidation in the East African region. The minister indicated that the Republic of Djibouti is proud to belong to this organization, which is the cornerstone of regional multilateralism, and congratulated the ESF for its effort in recent years towards the establishment of regional force and the maintenance of its operational readiness. Now, health. The Minister of Health has just completed a series of training sessions on integrated HIV/AIDS management, which took place at the Sheraton Hotel for all referring doctors. The closing ceremony of the training was held in the presence of the General Secretary of Health, Dr. Salah Aboulayt Turab, and the Priority Disease Director, Mrs. Munira Ali, funded by USAID and with the support of FHI 360. This training aimed to disseminate best practices on protocols for the care and management of patients living with HIV, which incorporate the new WHO guidelines on the subject. The introduction of the new therapeutic provisions aims to improve overall care for people living with HIV at the curative and preventive levels, particularly to ensure better adherence to triple therapy. The closing ceremonies ended with the presentation of the certificates, which were distributed to all the referring doctors who took part in this important training. In the region now in Obok, the sports event entitled Obok Region Tournament First Edition, organized by Regional Council in collaboration with the Prefecture and the State Secretary for Youth and Sport through its Subdirectorate, ended in the afternoon of Saturday, 19 December at the Obok Sport Complex. This day was devoted to the finals of collective disciplines such as football, basketball, and handball, girls and boys. In athletics, the speed finals were on the program. We should also note the very good ranking of Markazi youngsters. These competitions were launched by the authorities of the region, namely the Prefect Abdul Malik Mohammed and the President of the Regional Council of Obok, Mr. Mohammed Hamid, alongside the Sub-Director Kamil Adini. The President of the Sport Commission of the Regional Council, Ali Hassan Maeke, was there also. Elected officials of the decentralized services, civil society, without forgetting the young village chief Abdullah Hassan Maeke. The ceremony began with the national anthem, and the kickoff was given by the two leaders of the region. That they ended with awards ceremony and a photo break with the champions. Moving now to international news, in Africa, the number of confirmed cases of COVID-19 on the African continent reached 2.46 million on Saturday, while the number of deaths due to the pandemic rose to 58,313,000, the African Centre for Disease Control and Prevention said. The CDC Africa, specialized healthcare agency of the African Union Commission, further announced that a total of 2 million people affected by COVID-19 had recovered on the continent as of Saturday. The most affected African countries in terms of the number of positive cases are South Africa, Morocco, Egypt, and Ethiopia, according to figures from the CDC Africa. South Africa currently has the highest number of COVID-19 cases in Africa, with 901 confirmed cases. South Africa also has the highest number of deaths related to COVID-19 in Africa at 24,208. 85. Next comes Morocco with 412,000 confirmed cases and 6,000 deaths, followed by Egypt with 120,000 confirmed cases and 7,000 deaths, according to CDC Africa. The CDC Africa noting that the COVID-19 pandemic continues to evolve across Africa, also stressed the need for African Union member states to resist, reframe their strategy, and strengthen their response to COVID-19. This is it for this edition of 9 p.m. Thank you for watching us and have a wonderful evening.